The Chinese government is showing the teeth behind the smile it had put on for the world leading up to the coming Olympic Games in Beijing. Following riots in the Tibetan capital of Lhasa, Chinese soldiers are now swarming provinces containing large numbers of Tibetans, as the equivalent of most wanted posters are broadcast on state-controlled television. Correspondent Jonathan Hunt reports from Chengdu, China.
The Chinese government is increasingly concerned that the violence that took place in the Tibetan capital Lhasa, captured on this amateur video, is spreading to a number of Chinese provinces that border Tibet. As a result, thousands of Chinese soldiers have flooded into those provinces, and in some cities like Chengdu, the capital of the Sichuan province, heavily armed police in riot gear are now patrolling the streets. The movement of TV journalists here in Chengdu is now severely restricted. We have been banned from taking our cameras into the streets and are now largely confined to our hotel rooms. The Chinese government is doing all it can to prevent us from showing the crackdown and from talking to this city's large Tibetan population. In northern India today, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, heading a congressional delegation to the region, met with Tibet's exiled spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama. She condemned China's actions in Tibet and called on the world to take a stand.
The situation in Tibet is a challenge to the conscience of the world. It's a challenge to the conscience of the world that I hope that we can help meet.
The Chinese government blames the Dalai Lama for the violence in Lhasa and beyond. The state-controlled Tibet Daily called him, quote, a jackal with a human face and the heart of a beast. And on its website were pictures of Tibetan protesters it says Chinese troops and police are still hunting for. While Chinese television, also state-controlled, showed a documentary condemning the rioters.
An amateur cameraman recorded the scene as members of the mob stopped a motorcycle on the road and bludgeoned the rider's head with rocks.
It's all part of China's PR war. In the year that Beijing is to host the Olympics, the Chinese are especially sensitive about their international image. They believe damaging that image was a main goal of the Tibetan rioters. But the mobilization of so many troops in Tibet and China's western provinces is a clear sign that the government does not intend to let the rioters gain the upper hand, either on the streets or in the headlines. In Chengdu, China, Jonathan Hunt, Fox News.